Sina, with Cognitivity's technology, you talk about an assessment of the brain's CPU versus the hard drive. What does that mean?
Normally, you assess one's cognition today by assessing their memory, executive function, and these are different domains of the brain that are assessed. In a cognitive test that normally takes around 30 to 45 minutes. We're looking at something else, processing power by the brain. We assess that, and we make key parts of the brain activated at the same time. And we try to get memory out of the question because memory is very complex. You have emotions, you have different matters coming together and form memory. Here, we just get how quickly you can process information, particularly visual information. Why? Because 80% of your brain processing power goes to vision as opposed to other sensory. So an overwhelming majority. So this makes visual processing a very powerful proxy of how we assess one's brain.
The test itself, Sina, how does it work versus the traditional model that I would be used to seeing, or people are used to seeing with alphabets and sequences of numbers and words and trying to remember sequences of words and things like that?
This is fundamentally different approach. Our methodologies have not changed. Even the ones that you see digitally, the approach is the same. The memory-based tests, mostly logic, and it's designed for very late stages of the disease. By the time you can't do those tests well,
I see.
The deterioration had taken place already, brain deteriorated. But what we're trying to do is to pick up subtle subclinical changes in the brain that are not detectable with those methods by getting a very engaging test that gets key parts of the brain activated simultaneously. That's why timing is a really important matter here.
And you're able to detect the disease way before the advanced stages that the traditional tests are able to detect.
That's the whole idea behind it. With most of brain health issues today, the diagnosis happens after there's self-reported complaint or even family members. It's got so bad
it's noticeable.
Exactly. But what we want to do, we want to change this by making it proactive. Part of checkups today, you go get your heartbeat, blood pressure, eyesight, but no one looks at your brain.
No brain test.
And
right?
brain is the most important organ in your body. Why no one is looking at it? That's what we want to change.
So is the idea that somebody would repeat this test monthly, quarterly, annually, or how do you envision people using it?
The idea behind it is around annual wellness checkups. So make sure that you actually get reassured that everything is fine. I'll come back next year, I get my body checked, I get my brain checked. But if you want to improve and do something around performance, get better, then you can do this as regularly as you want. So you can monitor if there is an impact from your sleep. If you change diet, is it having an impact on your brain?
So it's not in our daily habit today to be testing our cognitive capability. How does cognitivity incorporate itself into everyone's lifestyle?
At the moment, it's a black box. You don't know if you have a bad diet, if you drink a lot. You feel fuzzy, but you don't know what's going on. One day you feel better, one day you feel bad, but there's no objective measurement of what's happening.
And once one has the objective measurements that Cognitivity is offering, you would think you'd be able to improve outcomes from there. What do people do with the information, and how do we ultimately reduce the rates of dementia?
Today, the biggest show in town to delay or completely prevent dementia is lifestyle. We have some drugs that come into the market, but the paper in Lancet, I think a couple of years back, that shows 40% of dementias can be prevented purely based on lifestyle. The big ones out there starts with sleep. Get a good night's sleep and get a habit. But again, diet, exercise, use your brain. Brain is like a muscle. The more you train it, those neurons are going to have more connections. You have a stronger brain, and you can keep it for longer.
There's a lot of apps and applications coming to the market similar to what Cognitivity is doing. The fundamental difference around the visual processing system, though, I don't think is out there yet, not that we've seen. How do you make sure that people understand how fundamentally differentiated you are?
Science, and evidence. Right. We have a lot of data. Every day we're adding to our database, and we're showing that this works, and it works very efficiently. And in comparison to everything else out there, as well as traditional approaches. So we have a very powerful and strong science base.